the night sky oversplit open with fire. Farmer Joe was the first to see it. He stood on his porch drinking cold coffee when a burning streak cut across the stars. It moved too slow to be a shooting star and too fast to be a plane. The object screamed through the air and crashed somewhere in the wheat fields to the west. The ground shook. Windows rattled in their frames. Dogs across town began to howl. Within 20 minutes, half the town stood at the edge of Joe's property. Sheriff Tom Reeves pushed through the crowd with his flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness and the dust that still hung in the air. What he found made him stop breathing for a moment. A pod, that was the only word for it. A metal pod the size of a small car, half buried in the dirt. Strange symbols covered its surface. They glowed faint blue, then faded. Smoke rose from cracks in the metal, and beside the pod, thrown clear by the impact, lay a body. Sheriff Reeves approached slowly. His hand rested on his gun, though he did not draw it. The body was small, child-sized, but it was not a child, not a human child. The creature had blue skin that shimmered like oil on water. 4 thin arms extended from its torso, each ending in 3 delicate fingers. Its head was slightly too large for its body, and its eyes, when they opened, were completely black. No whites, no color, just deep, endless black. A soft clicking sound came from its throat as it looked up at the humans surrounding it. Someone screamed. The crowd pushed backward. A man grabbed a shovel from nearby and raised it high. "Wait," Sheriff Reeves shouted. He stepped between the creature and the mob. "Just wait a damn minute." "It's a monster, Tom," the man with the shovel yelled. "Kill it before it kills us." The creature made more clicking sounds. It tried to stand, but its legs gave out. Blue liquid that might have been blood leaked from a wound on its side. Patterns of light moved across its skin, pulsing faster and faster. It was scared. Anyone could see that. Even something so strange could look scared. Sheriff Reeves knelt down. He did not touch the creature, but he lowered his flashlight so it would not blind those huge dark eyes. "Easy now," he said softly. "Easy." The creature stared at him. It made a sound that was almost like a word. Then it passed out. They did not kill it that night. Sheriff Reeves would not allow it, and though many argued and threatened, no one was willing to shoot the sheriff to get to the creature. They carried it to the old church, which had not been used for years. They locked the doors. 2 men with rifles stood guard. The news spread fast. By morning, everyone knew about the thing in the church. Some called it an alien. Some called it a demon. Most just called it a monster. Maya heard the news at her veterinary clinic on the edge of town. She was cleaning the surgery table when Mrs. rushed in, breathless and pale. The old woman told her everything. A creature from the sky. Blue skin, 4 arms, eyes like the void itself. They had locked it up like an animal. Maya set down her cleaning cloth. "Is it hurt?" Mrs. blinked. "What?" "You said it crashed. Is it hurt?" "I suppose. There was blue stuff coming out of it. But Maya, it's not a dog or a cat. It's a monster." Maya was already reaching for her medical bag. "Show me." The guards at the church did not want to let her in. But Maya had set Sheriff Reeves's broken arm 3 years ago, and she had saved his dog from a rattlesnake bite. He owed her. He let her pass. Inside, the church was dark and dusty. Light came through the broken windows in thin beams. The creature lay on a pile of old blankets someone had thrown in. It was awake now, pressed against the far wall, watching her with those impossible eyes. Maya approached slowly. She set her bag down and knelt on the floor, keeping her distance. The creature's 4 arms wrapped around its thin body. The light patterns on its skin pulsed with soft blue, like a heartbeat made visible. "Hello," Maya said. Her voice was gentle. She used the same voice she used with frightened animals. "I am not going to hurt you." The creature did not respond, but it did not try to run either. Maya opened her bag slowly, showing each item before she used it. Bandages, antiseptic. She pointed to the wound on the creature's side, then pointed to the bandages. The creature looked at the supplies, then at her face. Something passed between them, not understanding exactly, but perhaps the beginning of it. The creature let her approach. The wound was deep but clean. Maya worked carefully. The creature's skin was cool to the touch, smooth like silk. Up close, she could see that the patterns of light moved in complex waves, responding to her touch, to sounds, to the creature's own emotions. When she applied antiseptic, the lights flashed bright white for a moment. Pain. "Sorry," Maya whispered, "almost done." When she finished, the creature looked at the bandage wrapped around its middle. It touched the white fabric with one of its many fingers. Then it looked at Maya and made a sound. Not a click this time. Something softer. Something almost like thank you. Maya smiled. "You are welcome." She came back the next day with food. She did not know what the creature ate, so she brought everything: bread, fruit, meat, vegetables, water, milk. The creature sniffed each item carefully. It ate the fruit and drank the water. The meat it pushed away with clear disgust. On the third day, the creature spoke its first word in English. It had been listening to Maya talk, absorbing her language with a speed that should have been impossible. "Name," it said. Its voice was strange, layered, like many voices speaking at once. "Your name." "Maya," she said. "My name is Maya." The creature pointed at itself with two of its arms. "My name is—" Maya felt tears building in her eyes. She did not know why. Perhaps because in that moment the monster in the church became something else. A child. A lost child, far from home, surrounded by people who wanted to hurt her. "Hello," Maya said. "Would you like to come home with me?" The patterns on skin shifted to a warm, golden color. She did not know the word for yes yet, but she nodded. She had seen the humans do this. Up and down. Yes. Maya took her hand, and together they walked out into the light. The first stone hit on a Tuesday morning. She was walking beside Maya through the center of town. Maya needed supplies from the general store and had asked to come. She wanted to see more of this world. She wanted to understand the humans better. Perhaps, she thought, if they saw her walking peacefully, they would stop being afraid. The stone came from behind a parked truck. It struck her shoulder and left a dark bruise on her blue skin. She spun around, her four arms rising in surprise. 3 boys stood there, maybe 10 or 11 years old. They had more stones in their hands. "Go back where you came from, freak," one of them shouted. "Monster," yelled another. Maya stepped forward, her face hard with anger. "You boys get out of here right now, or I will tell your mothers exactly what you did." The boys ran, but they were laughing as they went. Touched her shoulder where the stone had hit. The skin there pulsed with dull red light. Pain, she had learned that red meant pain. "Why?" she asked Maya. "Why do they do this?" Maya looked at her with sad eyes. "Because they are scared of you, honey, and scared people do terrible things." "But I have not hurt anyone. I only want to be friends." "I know," Maya said. She put her arm around shoulders gently. "I know you do." 6 weeks had passed since the crash. Lived with Maya now in the small house behind the veterinary clinic. She had learned English with amazing speed. Her species, she explained, had special parts in their brains that absorbed language like a sponge absorbed water. She could speak almost perfectly now. She could read. She could write. But fluency was a double-edged sword. Now she understood exactly what the townspeople said about her. She heard them whisper in the grocery store, "Keep your children away from that thing." She heard them talk in the diner. "Should have killed it when we had the chance." She heard the preacher on Sunday call her a test from the devil himself, sent to weaken our faith. She heard everything, and every word cut like a knife. Tried so hard to prove she was not a monster. When old Mister struggled to harvest his tomatoes alone, appeared at his fence and offered help. Her 4 arms could pick twice as fast as any human. She filled basket after basket while Mister watched with suspicious eyes. When she finished, she smiled at him. He did not smile back. He took his tomatoes and went inside without a word. When the family lost their dog in the woods at night, volunteered to search. Her eyes could see in the dark as clearly as humans saw in daylight. She found the dog within an hour, tangled in some bushes by the creek, frightened but unhurt. Mrs. took the dog from his arms without looking at her. "How did you find him so fast?" she asked. Her voice was cold. "What did you do to him?" "I only looked for him," said. "I wanted to help." Mrs. walked away, clutching her dog tightly. The next day, heard that Mrs. had told everyone the alien probably hid the dog just so it could pretend to save it. One night, Sensitive Nose detected something strange in the air near the church, a bitter, dangerous smell. She ran to Sheriff Reeves and pulled on his sleeve, clicking urgently and pointing toward the building. He followed her, annoyed but curious. They found a gas leak in the old pipes beneath the church. Another few hours and it might have exploded during the next town meeting. Sheriff Reeves thanked her quietly, but when the story spread through town, people said the alien probably caused the leak herself. "It is trying to make us trust it," they said. "It is planning something." Nothing she did was ever enough. Maya's nephew Danny was different. He was 10 years old with messy brown hair and a gap-toothed smile. He visited on weekends while his parents worked in the city. From the first moment he saw, his eyes went wide with wonder instead of fear. "You are so cool," he said. "Can you teach me some alien words?" Skin patterns shifted to warm gold. "Joy, you want to learn my language?" "Heck yeah, I do." Danny became her first friend. He did not care that she had 4 arms or black eyes or blue skin. He thought those things were amazing. He asked her 1,000 questions about her home world, about her ship, about what space looked like when you traveled through it. He showed her how to play video games and was not even upset when she beat him after only 3 tries. But Danny's visits only lasted 2 days a week. The other 5 days had only Maya and the hatred of the town. One evening, sat on Maya's porch and watched the sunset. The sky turned orange and pink, colors that did not exist on her home world. Maya came out and sat beside her with 2 cups of tea. "You seem sad tonight," Maya said. Wrapped all 4 arms around her knees. "I heard what they say about me in the town. They call me monster. They call me demon. They say I should be cut open and studied." She turned to look at Maya, her black eyes reflecting the dying light. "They label me a monster in the village. Am I truly that awful?" Maya set down her tea. She took one of his hands in both of hers. "Listen to me carefully. What they call you says nothing about who you are. It only shows who they are. People fear what they do not understand. And fear makes people cruel. It makes them say things that are not true. It makes them see monsters where there are none. But I am different. I am strange. Perhaps they are right to fear me. Different does not mean dangerous. Strange does not mean evil." Maya squeezed her hand. "You are kind. You help people even when they hurt you. You saved that dog. You found that gas leak. You work hard and ask for nothing in return. That is not what monsters do." Skin patterns shifted through several colors. Blue for sadness, yellow for hope, green for uncertainty. "Then why do they hate me so much?" "Because it is easier to hate than to understand. Because admitting they were wrong would make them feel ashamed. Because some people would rather be cruel than be brave." Maya put her arm around. "But not everyone is like that. Danny loves you. I love you. And maybe, with time, others will learn to see what we see." "What do you see?" Maya smiled. "I see a good girl who is far from home and trying her best. I see someone who deserves kindness and has received only cruelty. I see my friend." Leaned into Maya's embrace. Her skin glowed warm amber, a color she had never displayed before. On her home world it meant something like family, something like belonging. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for seeing me." They sat together and watched the stars appear one by one. Somewhere up there was home world. Somewhere up there was the life she had lost. But right here, on this small porch with this kind woman, felt something she had not felt since the crash. She felt like maybe, just maybe, she could find a new home after all. Worked on the machine every night after Maya fell asleep. She had gathered the pieces slowly over many weeks, a broken radio from the junkyard, wires from an old television, computer chips from devices that no longer worked. She used her knowledge of technology to rebuild what she needed, a distress beacon, a way to call for rescue. She did not tell Maya, she was not sure why, perhaps because a small part of her was not certain she wanted to be rescued anymore, but she built the beacon anyway. Her people would be looking for survivors. Her parents might still be alive somewhere. She had to try. On a cold night in October, the beacon finally worked. Sat in the barn behind Maya's house, surrounded by scattered parts and glowing screens. The beacon hummed with power. She pressed the activation button and sent her signal into the sky. Then she waited. The response came 2 hours later. Static crackled through the small speaker she had built. Then a voice spoke in her native language. The clicks and whistles of speech filled the barn. Hearts beat fast with hope. Survivor beacon received. Identify yourself. This is 7, she answered in her home tongue. Daughter of 3 and 12. I was aboard the vessel Cleansing Light. My escape pod crashed on the 3rd planet of this system. I am alone. Please send rescue. There was a long pause. When the voice returned, it was different, colder. 7, your identity is confirmed. You are the only survivor of the Cleansing Light. Your parents did not survive the malfunction. Closed her eyes. She had known this might be true, but hearing it spoken aloud made it real, made it final. Her parents were dead. She was truly alone. The collective mourns your loss, the voice continued without warmth. However, your survival presents an opportunity. You have been on this planet for several lunar cycles. You have observed the native species. Provide your assessment. Hesitated. Assessment. The Cleansing Light was a survey vessel, child. Surely you knew this. Its mission was to assess the threat level of species approaching technological maturity. The natives of this world call themselves humans. Based on your observations, are they a threat to expansion? Should sterilization protocols be enacted? Blood went cold. She remembered the ship now. She remembered the conversations she had overheard between her parents and the other adults. She had not understood then. She had been too young. But now the words made terrible sense. Survey vessel, threat assessment, sterilization. What do you mean by sterilization? She asked, though she already knew the answer. Complete removal of the native species. Standard protocol for worlds deemed too dangerous to leave alone. The humans are violent, inventive, and aggressive. Early data from the Cleansing Light suggested they would eventually become a significant threat. Your observations will help determine if that assessment was correct. Could not breathe. Her species did not just explore the stars, they cleansed them. They found young civilizations and destroyed them before they could become rivals. Her parents had been part of this. She had been part of this, even if she did not know it. I cannot give you that assessment, she said. Explain. The humans are not just data, they are people. They have families, they have hopes and fears. They are scared of things they do not understand, but they can also be kind. One of them took me in. She cared for me when I was hurt. She treats me like a daughter. The voice was silent for a moment. You have developed attachment to the natives. This is unfortunate but not unexpected. Young sometimes form bonds with lower species. It will pass. It will not pass. I will not help you destroy them. Your cooperation is not required. The collective has already dispatched an enforcement team. They will arrive at your location in 7 planetary rotations. They will complete the assessment themselves and enact protocols if necessary. You will return with them. And if the assessment shows the humans are a threat, then this world will be cleansed. The humans will cease to exist. The transmission ended. Sat alone in the dark barn, surrounded by the machine she had built, the machine that had just doomed an entire planet. She did not sleep that night. She sat on the floor and shook. Her skin cycled through colors without stopping. Blue, red, purple, black, fear, pain, shame, despair. In the morning, Maya found her there. What happened? What is wrong? Looked up at the woman who had shown her such kindness. The woman who had taken in a monster and treated her like family. The woman who was going to die in 7 days because of what had done. I need to tell you something, said. Her voice was barely a whisper. I need to tell you what I am. She told Maya everything, the truth about her species, the purpose of the ship she had been on, the transmission she had received, the enforcement team that was coming, the sterilization protocols. My people see your people as pests, said. As insects to be crushed before they spread too far. They will destroy this entire planet. Every human, every animal, every plant. They will leave nothing alive. Maya sat very still. Her face was pale. And you knew this from the beginning. No, I did not understand when I was on the ship. I was just a child. I did not know what my parents were really doing, but I know now. And I know that the townspeople were right about me. I am part of a species of monsters. Perhaps that makes me a monster too. Did you choose to come here to hurt us? Shook her head violently. No, never. I just wanted to go home. I just wanted to find my family. Maya was quiet for a long moment. Then she knelt down and took face in her hands. Listen to me. You are not your species. You are not your parents. You did not choose any of this. You were a child on a ship you never asked to board, learning about a mission you never agreed to. But my people. Your people made their choices. That does not mean you have to make the same ones. Maya looked into her black eyes with fierce intensity. You are not what you were born as. You are what you choose to become. And you have chosen kindness. You have chosen to help people even when they hurt you. You have chosen to love when you could have hated. Tears ran down blue cheeks. She did not know she could cry until that moment. What do I do now? How can I stop them? I do not know, Maya admitted. But we will figure it out together. You are not alone. You were never alone. And whatever comes next, whatever your people try to do, I will stand with you. Threw all 4 arms around Maya and held her tight. Her skin glowed with that warm amber color again. Family, belonging, home. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for believing in me. Always, Maya said, always. Outside, the sun rose over. The townspeople began their morning routines, unaware that their world had only 7 days left to exist. Unaware that their fate now rested in the hands of a frightened alien girl and the human woman who loved her. But was done being afraid. She had spent her whole life being told what she was. Monster, demon, freak, threat. Now she would show them all what she chose to be. The ship came on the 7th day, just as promised. It descended from the clouds without warning. No fire this time. No crash. Just a smooth, silent drop that ended in the same wheat field where Spod had landed months ago. The ship was beautiful in a terrible way. Black metal that absorbed the light around it. Sharp angles that looked like weapons even when they were not. 3 times the size of a house. Stood at Maya's window and watched it land. Her skin had turned pale blue, almost white. Fear. They are here, she said. Maya stood beside her. How many? 3, I think. Enforcement teams usually have 3 members. They are soldiers. They are trained for this. For killing. For cleansing. The ship's door opened. 3 figures walked down the ramp. They looked like in some ways. Blue skin, multiple arms, dark eyes, but they were taller, more muscular, and they moved with the confidence of predators. Each one carried a weapon that recognized. Energy projectors. One shot could turn a human to ash. The leader walked ahead of the others. His skin was darker than almost purple. A scar ran across his face from forehead to jaw. His eyes scanned the landscape with cold calculation. Commander 9 whispered. He has led 50 cleansing operations. He has never failed. Within an hour, the whole town knew about the new arrivals. People gathered at the edge of the field, but no one dared approach. Sheriff Reeves tried to maintain order, but his voice shook. The three aliens stood by their ship like statues, waiting. Knew what they were waiting for. They were waiting for her. I have to go to them, she told Maya. If I do not, they will come here. They will hurt people to find me. I am coming with you. No, please. I do not want you to get hurt. Maya took her hands. I have watched you struggle alone for months. I have watched this town treat you like garbage. I am not going to let you face this alone, too. We are family. Families stay together. They walked to the field together. The crowd parted around them, silent and staring. Danny was there with his parents. He started to run toward, but his father grabbed his arm and held him back. Danny shouted, "Be careful," raised one hand in a small wave. Then she turned to face her people. Commander 9 stepped forward. When he spoke, his voice was like grinding stones. 7, you have survived longer than expected. The collective is pleased. I do not care about the collective's pleasure, answered in English. She wanted the humans to understand. Why are you here? You know why. We are here to complete the assessment and enact protocols if required. He looked around at the gathered humans with obvious disgust. Based on preliminary observations, protocols will definitely be required. These creatures are primitive but dangerous. They must be eliminated before they spread beyond this world. They are not creatures, they are people. They are vermin. 9's eyes narrowed. I have read your file, young one. You were always soft. Your parents worried about you. They said you cared too much, felt too much. They hoped the service would harden you. He tilted his head. It seems they failed. My parents were wrong about many things. So is the collective. So are you. A murmur ran through the human crowd. They could not understand the alien language, but they could read the tension. They could see standing against her own kind. 9 made a gesture, and his 2 soldiers raised their weapons. Enough of this. You will come with us now. We will complete the sterilization sequence within 1 planetary rotation. Then we will leave this dead world behind and return you to the collective 4. No. The word hung in the air. 9 looked almost amused. No. I will not go with you. I will not let you destroy these people. You cannot stop us, child. You are 1 damaged juvenile. We are 3 trained enforcers with weapons that can level this entire settlement in seconds. He stepped closer to her. What could you possibly do? Stepped backward until she stood between the enforcers and the crowd of humans. Her 4 arms spread wide. Her skin began to glow with a color she had never produced before. Bright gold, like fire, like sunlight. I can stand here. I can refuse to move. I can make you kill me first. 9 was no longer amused. You would die for these animals. They are not animals. They took me in when I was hurt and alone. They fed me. They taught me. One of them loved me when no one else would. His voice grew stronger. Maya showed me that I am not what I was made to be. I am what I choose to be, and I choose them. I choose humanity. Then you are broken, a defective unit. Your parents would be ashamed. My parents helped kill millions of innocent beings across dozens of worlds. I am proud to shame their memory. For a moment there was silence. Then 9 nodded to his soldiers. They moved fast, too fast for human eyes to follow. One of them grabbed by 2 of her arms. The other clamped a metal band around her neck. She screamed as energy pulsed through her body, locking her muscles, silencing her voice. Maya lunged forward. No, let her go. 9 raised his weapon and pointed it at her chest. One more step, animal, and you will be the first to burn. Maya stopped. Her hands were shaking, but her eyes were full of fire. She is just a child. She has done nothing wrong. She has betrayed her species. There is no greater wrong. 9 turned back to his soldiers. Begin the sterilization sequence. Set the radius for maximum coverage. I want nothing alive within 100 kilometers when we leave. One of the soldiers returned to the ship. Through the open door, could see him approaching a console covered in lights and symbols. The cleansing machine. In a few minutes, it would activate. A wave of energy would spread across the land, disintegrating every living cell it touched. The humans in the crowd began to panic. Some ran. Others fell to their knees and prayed. Children cried. Parents held them close. Sheriff Reeves drew his gun and fired at 9. The bullet bounced off an invisible shield and fell to the ground, flattened. The commander did not even flinch. "Fascinating," 9 said. "They use chemical propellants to launch metal projectiles. How primitive, how entertaining." He raised his weapon toward the sheriff. And that was when, paralyzed and helpless, saw something she would never forget. Maya stepped in front of the gun. "If you want to kill us," Maya said, her voice steady despite her fear, "then you will have to start with me. And when you do, everyone here will see exactly what kind of monsters you really are." 9 studied her. "You would die for these strangers." "I would die for what is right. I would die for that little girl you have in chains, and I am not the only one." Maya turned to face the crowd. "Are we going to let them do this? Are we going to let them take? Are we going to let them destroy our world without a fight?" The crowd was silent. The people looked at each other with fear in their eyes. Then Danny broke free from his father's grip and ran forward. He stood beside Maya with his small fists clenched. "I will fight," he said, "is my friend." Sheriff Reeves stepped forward too, his useless gun still in his hand. "I am in." Then the preacher who had called a demon. Then Mr. whose tomatoes she had picked. Then Mrs. whose dog she had saved. One by one the people have stepped forward, not because they were brave. They were terrified. Their weapons were useless. They were facing beings that could destroy them with a thought. But they stepped forward anyway. Because had stepped forward for them first. Commander 9 had overseen the elimination of 12 civilizations. He had watched species beg, bargain, and surrender. He had seen them fight with weapons far more advanced than anything these humans possessed. All of them had fallen. All of them had died. But he had never seen anything like this. The humans were charging, not retreating, not hiding, charging directly at beings that could kill them with a single shot. Farmers with pitchforks, an old man with a baseball bat, children throwing rocks, a woman with a kitchen knife, all of them running toward death with screams of fury on their lips. "Eliminate them," 9 ordered. His remaining soldier raised his weapon and fired. A beam of light struck the ground in front of the charging crowd. 3 humans fell, their legs burned from beneath them, but the others kept coming. They did not slow down. They did not turn back. They jumped over their fallen friends and kept running. 9 felt something he had not felt in centuries of service to the collective. Confusion. His soldier fired again and again, but there were too many humans now. They came from all directions. They used the chaos to their advantage. While some fell, others got closer. They were not trying to win. They were just trying to reach him, just trying to fight. A farmer drove his tractor straight at the ship. The soldier turned to stop him, but before he could fire, Sheriff Reeves tackled him from behind. The weapon went flying. 3 more humans piled on top of the soldier, pinning him to the ground with sheer numbers and weight. 9 raised his own weapon, but Danny had crawled behind him. The boy grabbed his leg and bit down hard. The commander hissed in pain and kicked the child away, but that moment of distraction was enough. Maya swung a metal pipe and struck his arm. The weapon fell from his fingers. Maya shouted, "Get that thing off her neck." Mrs. ran too and fumbled with the metal band. She had no idea how alien technology worked, but she pulled and twisted and hit it with a rock until something cracked. The band sparked and fell away. Gasped as feeling returned to her body. She fell to her knees, then looked up to see something impossible. The people who had hated her and feared her and called her a monster were fighting for her. They were bleeding for her. Some of them were dying for her. Inside the ship, the soldier at the console had almost completed the sterilization sequence. A countdown appeared on the screen. 60 seconds until activation. 60 seconds until everything within 100 kilometers turned to ash. The preacher saw the glowing numbers through the ship's door. He did not understand the symbols, but he understood what a countdown meant. He ran up the ramp with his baseball bat raised high. "Get away from that machine, demon." The soldier turned and fired. The beam caught the preacher in the shoulder and spun him around, but he did not fall. He gripped his bat with his remaining good arm and swung it with all his strength. It connected with the console. Sparks flew. The soldier grabbed him by the throat, but more humans poured into the ship. Joe, the boy, 2 women from the diner. They overwhelmed the soldier with their bodies, dragging him away from the console, hitting him with everything they had. The countdown stopped at 7 seconds. Outside, 9 had recovered his weapon. He stood in the center of a circle of fallen humans, his shield flickering from the dozens of impacts it had absorbed. Blood ran from a wound on his face where someone had managed to hurt him. His eyes blazed with rage. "Enough," he roared. "You have delayed nothing. You have achieved nothing. I will kill every last one of you myself." He aimed at Maya, who stood her ground despite the terror in her eyes. But before he could fire, a tractor slammed into him from behind. Joe had circled around. The massive vehicle struck the commander at full speed, pinning him against his own ship. 9 screamed in pain. His shield had protected him from death, but not from impact. His legs were crushed. His weapon arm was trapped. He could not move. Maya walked up to him slowly. Behind her, the humans gathered, bloody, battered, some of them barely standing, but all of them alive, all of them still fighting. "You wanted to know why we would die for," Maya said. Her voice was calm now, almost gentle. "Because that is what humans do. We protect our own, and is one of us now." 9 stared at her with something new in his eyes, something his species had trained out of themselves thousands of years ago. "Fear." "You are insane," he whispered. "All of you. Your species is completely insane." "Maybe," Maya agreed, "but we are still standing and you are not." The 2 surviving soldiers emerged from the ship, dragged by the crowd. Their weapons were gone. Their shields had failed. They were bound with rope and chains, surrounded by humans who should have been dead but refused to die. Walked forward on unsteady legs. She stood before Commander 9 and looked into the eyes of the greatest monster she had ever known. "You asked me why I would die for them," she said. "I asked myself the same question for a long time. Why protect beings who hated me? Why love people who called me a monster?" She knelt down so she was at eye level with the broken commander. "Because they showed me what real strength looks like. Not weapons, not shields, not cleansing machines. Real strength is standing up when you are afraid. Real strength is protecting someone who cannot protect themselves. Real strength is choosing love even when hate would be easier." She stood up again. "Go back to the collective. Tell them what happened here. Tell them that you came to cleanse a primitive world and the primitives beat you with tractors and baseball bats. Tell them that we are not a threat level. We are not a number in a file. We are humanity, and we will never be easy to kill." The surviving enforcers were released. They dragged their commander into the ship. The engines hummed to life. The black vessel rose into the sky and disappeared into the clouds. But before they left, they sent one final transmission, not 2 to the collective. Threat assessment updated. Species demonstrates irrational protective behavior toward non-kin. Exhibits pack bonding capabilities with any species. Will engage with hostile forces regardless of survival probability. Approach with extreme caution. Do not engage unless absolutely necessary. Months later, life in had returned to something like normal, but not quite normal. Something had changed. Sat on Maya's porch on a warm spring evening. Danny was teaching her how to throw a baseball. She kept using too many arms and throwing too hard, and Danny kept laughing and telling her to take it easy. Sheriff Reeves drove by and tipped his hat. "Evening." "Good evening, Sheriff." Mr. walked past with a basket of tomatoes. He stopped at the fence. "These are the first of the season," he said gruffly. "Thought you might want some, since you helped plant them last year." Skin glowed warm gold. "Thank you, mister." He nodded and walked away. He almost smiled, almost. A little girl from the neighborhood approached the porch. She was shy, hiding half behind her mother's legs. In her hands was a piece of paper. "Is this you?" the girl asked, holding up the drawing. It showed a blue figure with 4 arms, surrounded by smiling humans. Above the figure, in shaky child's handwriting, was the word friend. Took the drawing carefully. She studied it for a long moment. Her black eyes reflected the setting sun. Her skin shifted through a dozen colors before settling on that warm amber glow. "Yes," she said softly, "that is me." Maya came out with lemonade and sat beside her. "You okay, honey?" Looked at the drawing. She looked at Danny chasing fireflies in the yard. She looked at the town that had once wanted her dead and now waved to her when she walked by. She looked at Maya, the woman who had seen a monster and chosen to see a daughter instead. "I am okay," said, and for the first time in her life she meant it completely. "I am home." The stars came out one by one. Somewhere up there the collective was planning. They were analyzing. They were wondering what to do about the strange, stubborn, terrifying species on the third planet of an unremarkable solar system. But down here, on a small porch in a small town, an alien girl and her human family sat together and watched the night sky. And they were not afraid at all.